Mexico announces imminent plan to outlaw cash, mandate digital IDs. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren that's teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the few sisters that listen and subscribe into this word as well. And shalom to the elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there, shalom. I'm the brother Damal Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and I think I've seen, brothers do a lesson on this topic, but, I've heard about it, but, as I was standing upon my watch, the spirit had me come across this information, which, we're never going to let, good articles and prophetic, information go to waste, whether, brothers have brought it out previous or not, but hey, it's still our job to bring these things out because, hey, the spirit wants it to come out. So it's not going to be a very long lesson. I'm just going to read through some of this article and just show you that we're in these times, and Mexico, and there's a lot of other countries around the world that's on this same page, and a lot of these countries are accelerating this agenda faster than America, but we know eventually it will be here in the West, all right, because this is the ultimate agenda of these elites. And starting today, you have the Bilderberg meeting here in America. I think they're meeting over in DC, and I'm pretty sure this is a topic that they're going to be addressing and talking about. But, it's just further showing you that, hey, we're definitely in these times and it's not tarrying. And ultimately, they're showing you how they're forcing this system on you people, whether you want it or not. And this is how they're ultimately just going to do it. They're going to just make it to where in order for you to function within society in the future, you're going to have to, get digital IDs. You're going to have to eventually acquiesce to these systems if you want to function in society, man. And we've been bringing these things out, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone ad nauseum, and this is what these devils are going to do. They're going to just present this system, and either you're going to acquiesce, either you're going to, sign on and do what you got to do, or you're going to be separated. It's just as simple as that. So let's read some of this article. It says Mexico's far-left government is accelerating its plan to outlaw cash and mandate digital IDs, pushing forward with a sweeping biometric identification system while laying the groundwork for a fully cashless society. Because why? Cashless society ultimately means total, complete control of these elites over the people. They want this cash to be cashless because it gives them total control. You're not going to be able to have your own, you're not going to be able to independently have wealth for yourself. All of your money, all of your so-called money will be digital. It will be programmable. They'll have total control of it to where they can tell you where you can spend it, at what time you can spend it, or if you can spend it, and also where you can spend it and what you can spend your money on. You see, it's a total system of control that they're going to force upon the people eventually. It says under President Claudia Sheinbaum, which she's a small hat. She's a 1948er. She's a gooness, if that's even a word, of these elites. She was put in that position for this very thing. It says officials are framing the initiative as voluntary modernization. And it's not voluntary. They're forcing it, but they'll use words like voluntary. They'll soften it up. They'll make it sound like it's something that the people want, but really, they're really leaving you no choice. It's a system they're nicely forcing on you. Because like I said, eventually, if you want to have a cell phone, if you want to have a bank account, you're going to have to have a biometric because that's going to be the only way you're going to be able to have one. So what are you going to do? Are you not going to have a bank account? Or are you just going to say, well, I'll just barter, I'll trade, I'll just operate, without having to give up my biometrics, and then, you'll be basically separated from society. So it's not some voluntary modernization. It's really being forced upon the people. It says, even as they eliminate cash payments at gas stations and highway toll booths. So what? If you need gas, you're going to eventually have to acquiesce. You're going to eventually have to do what needs to be done in order for you to be able to buy gas, because they're no longer going to take cash. So what the fuck are you going to do? You got to travel. You got to go to work, right? You know, you got to pay your bills. You got to go pick up your kids. You got to take them to school. You got to do particular things. But you see, this is how they're gonna deceive the people into doing it. And and we might have to give up our biometrics at some point in order to operate within the society. But we know when they start telling you need to take that charagma in order to continue to operate and function within this system, that's when we know all bets are off. And this is ultimately what it's leading to. They're gradually leading people into the MOTB. It says, even as they eliminate cash payments at gas stations and highway toll booths, with digital transactions set to become mandatory by the end of 2026, and the advance the rollout of biometric CURP digital IDs incorporating fingerprints, iris scans, and facial recognitions, which will eventually lead to the charagma, to the C ragamuffin. You see? This is why you can't be ignorant. You got to see, the gradualism within these things. If they can get you to submit to this, then the next step is going to be the microchip, and it's going to be mandatory. It's not going to be negotiable. It's not going to be, they're not going to have a 2-tier system to where you're going to have some that have the charagma and some that don't. No, they're going to make all, both small, great, rich, and poor, to receive that charagma, man. It said, look at here, refuse the biometric credential and lose your phone. Yeah, you see, don't take that microchip. You can't function within society. It's that simple. It's not very hard to understand. You see, it says the CURP Biometrica updates Mexico's existing population registry code, the Clave Única de Registro de Población, from an 18-character alphanumeric string into something far more personal. The updated system. Salakia. The updated system captures face, fingerprints, iris biometrics, packages them with a QR code and digital signature, and produces what amounts to a mobile, readable identity document tied to your body. You see? And eventually this system is going to be put subdermally implanted within you. Pretty soon you're going to become the QR code. You see? And this is just all gradualism. This is just how they're, slowly prepping you people to accept this system before it goes under the skin. You see? Because eventually all this information is going to be embedded inside you. You're not going to need a QR code. You're going to become the QR code. This is why they want 6G up and running. This is why they want these data centers everywhere. This is why they want all of these cameras and, and this whole 6G infrastructure implemented. So everywhere you go, you can be tracked, traced, scanned, monitored, ID'd, totally digitally embedded within the system. It says registrations happens at RENAPO and civil registry offices, where staff scans all 10 fingerprints, both irises, takes a facial photograph, and a record and record a digital signature. You'll need a valid photo ID, a certified CURP, and an original or certified birth certificate just to walk in. The government has framed this primarily as a tool for addressing Mexico's crisis of forced disappearance. Yeah, and that's the reason, that's the excuse. This is why they're telling you this is why they need this system, so we can stop disappearances. For what? So we can make you safe, peace and safety. And we know a lot of people will be willing to give up their freedoms and their safety. They give up a lot of their freedoms and have their freedoms violated for the appearance of safety. You see? It says the biometric data feeds into a unified identity platform connecting the Natural Population Registry with the National Forensic Data Bank and records held by prosecutors and intelligence agencies, enabling real-time identity searches. And eventually they'll give this whole system over into AI. You see? And this is why they want AI to be able to go unhinged and unchecked and unregulated, because they need it to operate this beast system. It says the actual system being built does considerably more than locate missing people. The legislation gives broad access to biometric and personal information to law enforcement, intelligence agencies, and the National Guard, and the law doesn't require authorities to notify citizens when their data gets accessed, because your data is going to be constantly being accessed. Everything you do, everywhere you go, every time that you're operating within society, AI is going to be tracking and watching you. Like I said, I keep mentioning this. Watch that movie Mercy, man. Watch that movie Mercy. It's exactly the system that these devils are ultimately rolling out on you people. It says you won't know who's looking at your biometrics or why or how often, because like I said, you're gonna be constantly be surveilled. You're gonna constantly be watched. You're gonna constantly be monitored by artificial intelligence. Whether you're in your house through your smart TV, in the future while you're in your 15-minute city, every time you open your door, every time you turn on the faucet, every time you take a shit, every time you flush the toilet, every time you get in a vehicle, every second that you're at your so-called job. Whenever you're walking on the streets, whenever you're getting on a plane, whenever you're boarding a train, you're going to be constantly tracked, man. Your biometrics will be watched. Your digital footprint, your carbon footprint is going to constantly be under surveillance, man. You see? It says the SIM registration mandate is what turns a theoretically optional credential into an effectively compulsory one. Mexico enacts its mandatory mobile registration law on January 9, 2026, requiring all cell phone numbers, including prepaid and postpaid lines, as well as physical SIM and eSIM, to be verifiably linked to an individual with a government-issued credential. Carriers must verify subscriber identity against the national biometric rights. So even if you want a cell phone, you're going to have this system. You're going to have to be linked with this system. How much more everything else? Your bank account, if you want to have a job, if you want to go into a grocery store, if you want to buy and sell. It says this means anonymous prepaid SIMs, long relied on by domestic abuse survivors, journalists, and political activists, will simply stop working for anyone who doesn't complete biometric registration before the deadline. You see, you can be locked out of the system. Just like over there, what was that? Was that Vietnam or Thailand, where those millions of bank accounts got closed out and shut down because the people, took too long to link their bank accounts with their biometrics? Same fucking system, man. You see, this is how they're going to be able to kill anyone who doesn't worship the beast. You'll be separated. That's pretty much it. And I think they said this is like the third time they tried to do this thing. It was met with resistance, but these devils are going to keep doing it until eventually, when they have the total system in place, it's either you're going to either you're going to get down with it or you're just going to be separated and left out of the system, man. You see? And this is Revelations 13 and 15. And he had life, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right. And we know this is going back to the Roman Empire, but the modernized version of this beast system is this technocracy, is this technological system that they're creating. And you're going to have to worship it. Like I said, you're going to have to eventually acquiesce to these different systems, your digital IDs, give up all your biometrics, basically bow down and worship this beast system. And eventually it's going to culminate with the micro chip. But as of right now, they're starting it gradually with you having to give up all your biometrics and accept this new, as in Mexico, accept this new CERP system, as they called it. What was it called? CERP or some shit like that? Yeah, the CERP, Biometrica, Clava Única de Registro de Población. See? It says, and he cause of all, see? Eventually, it's going to be required for everybody to have to bow down to this system if you want to what? And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, the charagma. And this is how you're going to be fully linked into this system in the future. You're going to have to take this charagma. If not, you'll be killed. You'll be separated. You won't be able to have a cell phone. You won't be able to have an apartment, a house, go buy or sell or function within this man's system. You see? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. You see? Chi Psi stigma. It's this damn devil. And the system that they're over here pushing on the people in Mexico is nothing more than the image of this beast, this system that they're getting ready to force upon, eventually the whole world, man. So, hey, and it's all going to lead, all roads always lead to the MOTV. So with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Into the next one, shalom.